12,000 years ago. No cities, no written language, no kingdoms. Agriculture had not reshaped the world. And yet, in the darkness of prehistory, someone was raising massive stone monuments. They left no written records. They built no cities. And still, they carved stone as if they were speaking to eternity. When Göbekli Tepe was discovered, history had to be rewritten. But what if Göbekli Tepe was never alone? What if the so-called zero point of civilization was not a single place, but part of something much larger? Today, we begin to uncover one of the most mysterious archaeological discoveries of our time. Its name is Karahantepe, and it may change everything again. Every great discovery begins with someone looking closely at the land. In 1995, German archaeologist Klaus Schmidt began excavations at Göbekli Tepe. At the time, no one imagined that the stones emerging from the soil would push back the story of civilization by thousands of years. Those stones were not just ruins. They were a doorway into humanity's deep memory. Interest in the region grew quickly. Then, in 1997, Associate Professor Bahattin Çelik from Harran University noticed something remarkable during a survey in the mountains east of Göbekli Tepe. T-shaped pillars were rising slightly above the ground. They had been waiting there for thousands of years. Yet, systematic excavations did not begin until 2019, under the direction of Istanbul University. At first, archaeologists believed the site may be a twin of Göbekli Tepe. But as digging continued, differences began to appear. Yes, the culture was related, but it was not identical. It was as if the same belief system had been expressed in the different voice. The same story told in another way. Geophysical scans revealed that more structures were still buried underground. Soon, the broader network of sites in the region became known through the Stonehills project. And suddenly, something became clear. The story of early civilization did not belong to a single hill. We may only be seeing the tip of the iceberg. At first glance, Karahantepe feels almost familiar with Göbekli Tepe. The same limestone, the same monumental T-shaped pillars, the same circular architectural plans. But why circular? Why T-shaped? Were they built for the same purpose? We know that these pillars were carved by human hands. Stone tools found at the site still carry the marks of effort, thousands of careful strikes shaping each surface. One question remains especially intriguing. Why were these monumental sites built so close to one another? Was the population larger than once we believed? Was Göbekli Tepe simply too small, or was there another reason? Something ritual, symbolic, or completely unknown? Every stone speaks, but it does not speak clearly. The meaning of the T-shaped pillars remains one of the archaeology's great mysteries. Some researchers interpret them as stylized human figures. Others suggest they may have represent supernatural, ancestral, or sacred beings. We know that the builders were skilled enough to carve detailed animals with remarkable precision. If they had wanted to carve realistic human faces, perhaps they could have done so. But they did not. The pillars are headless, abstract, reduced to form. Was this a deliberate choice? It may have been. The absence of face could suggest something beyond ordinary humanity, something sacred, something unseen. Perhaps these were not portraits of individuals at all, but symbols of powers, ancestors, or forces that could not have been a human face. And perhaps the silence of these stones is intentional. If the builders avoided carving full human figures in some places, they clearly had no simple technical limitation. Because at Karahantepe, we encounter something extraordinary. A seated male statue about 2.3 meters tall. It is considered one of the earliest known large-scale human sculptures in history. The ribs are visible. The hands rest naturally. The anatomical details are deliberate and precise. This was not a world without imagination. This was a society capable of observation, symbolism, and artistic expression. Karahantepe reveals that these early communities were not only builders, they were thinkers, perhaps even the philosopher of their time. In one particular structure, known as AB chamber, archaeologists uncovered a strange, powerful sheen. A group of phallic pillars rises from the bedrock. On the wall before them, a human head is carved directly into stone. To modern eyes, this may seem unusual. But for early societies, survival depended on continuity, on birth, death, memory, and renewal. Life was fragile. Nature was unpredictable. The survival of the community was everything. Symbols of the body were not always private. They could be sacred. Through stone, the builders may have been expressing ideas about life, fertility, transition, and the endurance of their people. These sculptures are not random. They are bold, permanent statements. Another striking feature of Karahantepe is its connection to the leopards. One sculpture depicts a human figure associated with a leopard carried or held across the body in a complex stance. This may symbolize power, or perhaps a deep relationship with the wild. Unlike Göbekli Tepe, where animal figures dominate much of the imagery, Karahantepe places greater emphasis on humans. Perhaps this marks a shift in consciousness, a moment when humanity began to see itself not only as part of nature, but as something with a different role inside it. Not separate from the wild world exactly, but aware of itself within it. If so, Karahantepe may preserve one of the earliest signs of a changing human self-image. What truly separates Karahantepe from Göbekli Tepe is the evidence of daily life. Here, archaeologists have uncovered domestic structures, communal spaces, and installations connected with water. This was not only a place of ritual, it appears to have also been a living settlement. For decades, many historians believed that agriculture led to settled life, and then complex belief systems followed. But sites like Karahantepe raise a different possibility. What if shared belief helped bring people together first? What if ritual, memory, and community came before farming fully transformed their world? This does not give us a final answer, but it does open a powerful question about the birth of civilization. Karahantepe does not contradict Göbekli Tepe. Instead, the two sites seem to complete one another like pieces of an ancient puzzle. Across the stone hills, related sites continue to reveal fragments of a forgotten world. Each hill holds another question. Each buried structure, another silence waiting to be heard. We are beginning to understand that belief may be as old as humanity itself. Even before cities, before writing, before kingdoms, humans gathered. They built, they carved, they believed. The silent stones of Karahantepe carry whispers from a world before history. And as we listen more closely, we may discover that the story of civilization did not begin only with corpses or walls. Perhaps it also began with memory, with ritual, with faith. And perhaps by following the traces our ancestors left behind, we may uncover something even deeper, not just where we came from, but who we are.